right, so today I've got a real treat for you. This is an unboxing and a quick review of the full Legacy Standard Bible. That's the full Old Testament and the New Testament, as opposed to what they came out with not too long ago was one that has the New Testament in Psalms and Proverbs. This one just got delivered today about an hour ago. It has the full Old Testament and New Testament. So I'm really excited about this because I have been using this version here and comparing it a lot with my NASB Bibles, and I really love this translation. It's so good. It's accurate. That's the main thing, accuracy. And this is a fantastic translation. I really like it. I do not like the new direction that the 2020 NASB has gone in at all. I don't like it. This is much more along the lines of any update I would expect from an NASB. So I've also got a brand new delivered faux leather blue of the New Testament, Psalms and Proverbs that I'll go ahead and let you get a look at here too in the process, in case you haven't seen my other video where I do the unboxing and comparison with the Cowhide. But let me go ahead and open this for you. I bought two of them, okay, because switching translations is a major deal for me. I was always a KJV guy, and then it was NASB. So now moving to the Legacy Standard in NASB and KJV exclusively, and I'm kind of phasing out the ESV and other translations that I've used. So anyway, let me go ahead and open this for you, all right? Now, I haven't taken it out yet, so you'll get the first view as I do. This is the packing slip here. This, we got a bubble wrapped couple of boxes. All right, and it's already starting to look familiar here, as this is the same kind of sleeve that these little Bibles come in. It's not a box, it's a sleeve. So I'm not really sure why they had these packaged separately like that. They're both the same, nothing different about it. Let me, I wasn't trying to butcher the packaging too much, but let me go ahead and just rip it open. Okay, here we go. So now you can see we have two brand new Legacy Standard handy size Bibles. Now I opted to go with the Italian Cowhide blue and red. I wanted to go with the brown, but I just kind of basically told them, whatever's available first, just whether it's red or brown, just send it. I don't care. And I guess this red was more readily available than the brown, so I've got the red and the blue here. Now, I'll go ahead and open up the blue one. Like I said, the packaging is nothing special. It's not a box like the ones that come with the Skylers or the Cambridge. okay? This is just a sleeve here, so let's go ahead and open it up. All right. And I'll try not to destroy the sleeve too much here. Okay. And let me see. Yeah, it has a real leathery feel to it. It's really similar to this New Testament Psalms and Proverbs from the Shepherd's Conference. This is genuine cowhide, perimeter stitching, but it's paste down. It's not edge lined or anything, this little one. These here are the same kind of, has the same kind of leather to it. I would say this has a real matte kind of look to it. It's a real matte finish. There's no shine to it at all. Let's go ahead and open the red one. And we'll see what that looks like. Pretty darn cool. It's a really nice red. I wasn't sure if I'd like the color of it when I got it. I think that on the computer screen, it looked a little bit of a, this looks maybe a little bit more of a royal red than I had in mind. So it's nice. I like it. I like it better than the picture. The blue is a little bit more of a royal blue than the picture conveyed, at least on my screen. So I really like the colors of these. Of course, I don't really put a whole lot of stock in aesthetic. Okay, wow, that was a bit of a camera problem there for a second. So as I was saying, I don't put a whole lot of stock in the aesthetics and all those things, though I have come to appreciate really good covers and bindings on my Bibles these days, way more than I used to. But what matters is what's inside, and that's the translation itself, which I won't get into a lot of detail here because I would have to prepare a little comparison for you. And I have certain verses in mind I'd like to show you, but that's going to take more time. So for today, let me just unbox it. I'll tell you a little bit about this translation, and then we'll get into the text of it a little later. So let me go ahead and open this up. Now, this is not a flexible leather, okay? And if you compare to Clarion or Skylar, you know, this is not nearly as supple. If you look at the Legacy Standard, this one here has been really well used for about 3 months, but it's still pretty stiff. I don't know if it will ever break in to where it'd be soft. Not anything like these, but even the faux leather is pretty stiff. So that's one thing I'm not, that thrilled about. But I kind of knew it, figured since, see, this is a paste down liner right here. It's not edge lined. So I wasn't real thrilled about having this paste down because I think I'm not an expert on book bindings and all that, but I think it's because of the paste down that makes this more stiff. Let's take a look at the quality here. It appears that they did a fairly good job here. I think the back is pasted down a little bit better than the front, maybe. See a little glue paste or whatever that is, you could see. It doesn't have that gold line around it like the Skylar. But and this inside thing, I don't know what this is made of. Probably some kind of synthetic. It doesn't feel papery on the outside. It feels more flexible, kind of some kind of other. But this liner right here, to me, feels like paper. I'm not sure why that is, but on this side itself, it doesn't feel too papery. But over here, this is kind of a papery feeling. I don't know if there's a. Looks like to be on one sheet. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I really don't care about that. I knew it wasn't going to be edge lined. I didn't want to pay $200 for the edge line version either. These were only 99 bucks each. So let's take a look at the gilding. Now, to be honest with you, when you compare the gilding of the stuff I've seen from 316 Publishing so far, the gilding's okay. If you compare it to the Cambridge, this has a nicer gilding. If you compare it to the Skylar, which is nicer than the Cambridge, this has a much nicer gilding. However, having said that, and having toted this around, throwing it around, using it a lot for the last few months, I would say that this gilding here is pretty durable. And I'm pretty sure it's gotten wet a little bit, but it hasn't created any spots. Whereas the Cambridge, this one's new, so it doesn't have any, but it will spot really easy with just a little moisture. So anyway, I did notice that the gilding on this seems to be pretty, I guess, durable. As far as I could tell, compared to their Bibles, even though it's not, this is much more of a brassy, much lighter, whereas the Skylar is much more of a gold color. The 316 gilding is a much brassier looking gold color. Let's see here. Now, of course, if you take a look at the New Testament Solving Proverbs version, it doesn't have the art gilding, I guess is what they call it, where you can see it when the pages are open. It kind of just disappears and looks white. So you see the gilding, of course, when it's closed. This is the Cowhide version, which is more expensive than that. And also, it just kind of turns white. It doesn't have the art gilding. Whereas, you look at the Skylar, it's gold, but then red. And the Clarion is gold and then kind of a salmon red. This here, gold, let's see, blue. So unlike the New Testament Psalm and Proverbs, this has a blue art gilding to it. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about the specifics here. So let me go past well, okay, I haven't opened this yet, but I already see a little crease here in the paper. I don't care. But just notice that. Let me see what else. Well, let's take a look at this intro page. This is really nice. Really nice looking paper. Let me see if I can get a better look at it here for you. Yep, it's a really nice looking paper. It's very easy to read. Now I'm sitting about 2.5 feet away from maybe about 3 feet from my eyes to the paper. And the lighting in here brings out the ghosting really bad. So no matter what quality the Bible is, it can be anyone, I mean, you're going to see some ghosting. Well, this is a little bit of an exception. I find that these Hallman and Zondervan papers are much less transparent, even though they're a lot cheaper. But the feel of this paper and the font and everything is really nice. So let's get a cheaper Bible here. Okay, you can see, compare the ghosting. So these are line matched. I think I paid about $35 for this King James from Holman. It's a study Bible, but the ghosting, you can tell here it's a little more faint than this one. But nevertheless, it's just the way that the font stands out. Now, I mentioned that in another review of the Legacy Standard New Testament Psalms Proverbs. I talked about the paper. I'll go ahead and kind of reiterate that here. It's a combination of the font and the paper, the spacing, the same way that they did the Cambridge. What makes this so great is the combination of things, not just the font, even though the font does have a little effect to it for readability. This too, really nice. This is a more classic font than the Cambridge. I like that it's red here. Now this is straight up text. One thing I've really come to appreciate in Bibles is a verse by verse translation, a verse by verse layout, as opposed to the paragraph layout, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me. I seamlessly switch out from one another. This is a double column layout. This is a paragraph layout. And this is a verse by verse layout. One thing I really like about this Schuyler Quintel personal size is I really love having these verse by verse layouts, because I'm more of a studier than a reader. So it's a little bit easier to keep track. Now, when I'm reading for long periods of time and not really referencing back and forth, the paragraph is a slight advantage, but because this is just a text, it doesn't have references or anything, just a straight up Bible text, you got a lot of space, and it's just really nice, really great to read, whether for study or for just casual reading, which is one of the things I've really liked about these little ones. So anyway, unlike the New Testament Psalms and Proverbs, which is all black text, okay, These here have red chapter numbers, red titles, page numbers. Not a big deal. Let's go to the New Testament. And as you can see, this is not a red letter. Before, I suppose I kind of liked the red letter. Now I don't really care if it's red or not. Perhaps maybe even prefer just the black letter. But this is not red letter text. And I really like it. I really like this here. Very nice. I guess the ribbons are kind of a big thing. Let's see what they did here with the ribbons. One thing I noticed is sometimes these things are not glued in there straight, but these are okay. It's twisted. I mean, it's not twisted at all, though if you look at it, the gold one here on the right side, which is the New Testament side, is more to the left. Now, if you look where the New Testament begins and the Old Testament ends, there we go. All right, this is the New Testament, this is the Old Testament. This ribbon isn't even lined up with this side of the Bible. This is a little bit, it's not in the middle of where the Old Testament is, see? I mean, they're long enough where, you're not going to pull them down all the way like that, because you'll just kind of mess up your paper at the top or gilding. You're always going to kind of pinch them there a little bit or something, and so this got plenty. It's not going to ever be a problem. But that is one thing I noticed here. I don't know if that's anything. Maybe the book experts could weigh in on that. To me, you would think that they would have these kind of lined up a little bit better. I'm not really sure. Let's look at the other one. Let's look at the red one. Huh. Interesting. As you could see, the red one here is actually like right in the middle, whereas the blue one is a little bit to the left. And this one, see, is flat in there. It's in there flat and straight. This one's a little bit kind of slanted. See? So I guess this is kind of a little bit of a flop here. I guess a defect of some or something. This on the red one looks very well done. Let's see. Let me take out the ribbons here. And we'll take a look. So yeah, well, you see this one here, they're both slanted a little bit. This one more than that one. See, it's not really straight in there. It's kind of slanted a little bit. So when you lay it down, it's like that. This one here is really very slanted, as if it was pasted in this way. I don't know why it's so hard for these Bible makers to line them up and have them in there straight. Honestly, it's kind of disappointing for something so simple to not be able to get, right. So, of quality control for a $100 Bible, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you. With these ribbons. The ribbons themselves, let's take a look at the ends. This one here looks really well done. It's not frazzled or anything. And you don't see the glue, but this one here is very sloppy. Let me see if you can get a closer. You can see the glue there. Let's see these two. Same here. This one's got kind of glue there, and this one just looks nice and straight. So I guess there's a lack of consistency a bit. These ribbons are more in the middle. So if you look where New Testament starts, see Zechariah, Malachi, Matthew, okay. Malachi 1, 2, all right. This is where the New Testament starts, Old Testament, and here are the ribbons. Now, though these are centered, these ribbons, this one is still, significantly here to the left of where the New Testament is. And this one here is right in the middle of the Old Testament, which is fine. You figure, because I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm studying the Bible, I am always marking between the Old and New Testament because I'm constantly going back and forth between New and Old Testament. That's just me. Maybe it's the way I study the Bible. I don't know. So I always use one ribbon for the New Testament, one for the Old Testament, and I'm going back and forth doing that. I really never needed more than 2 ribbons, to be honest with you. But anyway, so these ribbons, to me, are a better quality than the ones that come with the Cambridge. They feel a little bit thicker, maybe. Not as cheap, but still the same thin ones. If you look at the Schuyler has much nicer ribbons here. Wider and thicker. But the material, I think, and I'm not an expert at all by any stretch, but I think the material of this one is a little bit better than the Cambridge. So I guess the quality of the ribbons themselves may be a little bit better than the Cambridge Clarion, but just let's see how these are the ribbon placements of these two. Let's take a look at the Schuyler. Schuyler PSQ has them pretty much center. The Cambridge, pretty much center. So you see, this one is a little bit off. This one's okay. But when you look at the way that the ribbons are in there, the Schuyler is straight. See, it's not really leaning over too much. And the reason why it is now is because I tug at this a lot. So, I mean, that's going to happen, I think, over time. But when it came, it was pretty straight. I could just lay them over and they were straight. They weren't like this. These I haven't used because they're brand new, as you saw. And they're already kind of leaning over. I don't know if that's anything or not. I'm just pointing it out. Oh, let's take a look with a cheaper Bible, just for comparison. See, this is a study Bible, but This ribbon here is way over here by the New Testament, and this one's like right, kind of sort of in the middle of the Old Testament. This is a cheaper Bible. This is an ESV study Bible. This only has one ribbon, but at least it's in there very straight. It's a wider, better quality ribbon, I think, than those. I'm not sure. I don't know. Nevertheless, that's the ribbons for you, as good as I'll be able to give it to you. So let's look at the gilding. The gilding on this is a little bit different. This is a red gilding. So it's gold and red. When you look at them side by side, see, this has got kind of a brassier look to it. If you look over at the blue faux leather, it too has a brassier look, even though it's not blue or gilded. You could see the blue in here a little bit, but it's still that brassier kind of lighter colored gold. Then, if you look at the non-art gilded cowhide brown, right? It's still the same kind of brassier looking gilding, but I don't know if it's the gilding itself that's a little bit more gold of a gilding, or if it's the red that gives it that impression. I'm not really sure. But now that I see them side by side, I really like this one. This is very nice. It's well done. Now, I'm going to point out something, and I don't know if this is a thing or not, but me, it bothers me. This is something that really bothers me when I see it. Now, if you notice that these corners here are cut straight, that's good. I hate it when they're not. Now, I've had issues with other Bibles where they're just not cut evenly, particularly the ESVs. I guess the ones that aren't their heritage or whatever fancy. I've never owned one of their fancier Bibles, but I've had about 3 of the ESV Bibles, and this is, not a cheap one. This is like a $70 or $80 study Bible, the two-tone indexed, and the way they cut these pages on the corners are a little bit off. These look to me like they're cut straight. That's good. I like that. I don't like it. I hate uneven corners. See, the Cambridge is okay, though you could tell that this cut right here is wider than if you look over here. It's a little bit narrower. Here, I noticed the same thing. This is a little bit wider on this corner, and this is cut a little bit narrower, but barely. Can't tell. Skylar, see, is really nice and clean. Looks uniform. I don't know if you could tell that, but yeah. One thing I really hate is to buy a Bible and have crooked page corners that no matter what, they're not straight. This is well done, I guess, in that respect. So if you want to see the red gilding next to the blue gilding here, and I like the blue gilding, that's pretty cool. I like this when it's open. Looks really nice. Kind of reminds me of this Allen Bible that I was really close to buying. But of course, I kind of got a sweet spot for the reddish gilding, as they usually all have on all my other good Bibles. Blue would probably be my favorite color, I guess. But to be honest with you, and I do like this blue. This is nice. There is no disappointment in the color. But now that I see this red in person, I really like this. This is great. Really nice, man. Let's take a look at the paper. I noticed something here about this paper. Oh yes, yeah. Wasn't the paper? It was the top part. See this spine or whatever they call it. If you look right here, turn it over. This is against the stitching or whatever that is, right? There's no space here really, right, on this end. But if you turn it over, it's spaced out more. This one, not so much. This one's more evenly. It looks a little more even here. See if you see how much space there is when you kind of squeeze it. Squeeze it, you get a little. This one's even, right? But the blue one, you see at the top, I can almost fit my, well, you kind of, but look at the bottom. There's hardly any space here. So, let's see. I mean, it looks aligned horizontally here. I don't know why that is. I'm not really sure why it seems tighter, why it is tighter here on the bottom than it is here on the top. But I don't know if that's anything either. But I'm showing it to you. I'll let you and the other experts there decide. So let's take a look at this printing here. Gold. It's not like imprinted down in there. It's just kind of printed on the surface. Looks really nice and clean. I can't tell if there's any issue. I mean, I hear some Bible reviewers talking about bleed or something. I mean, these look good. They look sharp. Nothing bad with it. Let's take a look compared to the New Testament Psalms and Proverbs. This is a faux leather. And these three are all cowhide, so this is pretty well done. Now, one thing, this, even though I've been using this Bible a lot, this part hasn't faded or in any certain area. So this is, I think, pretty durable, apparently. I have some Bibles that this stuff kind of fades. I don't know if it will on this one. This one's brand new. I've only had it for about a week. About a week. And I've barely used it. I don't know if maybe this gold printing here fades more on the faux leather. But there is one issue I had. Now the MacArthur Study Bible, just for a comparison, this one I've had for about 3 years, and I've used it a ton. This was my first MacArthur Study Bible. I bought a brand new blue one, and same second edition and all that, same NKJV, all that, everything same. Just it was blue and this was brown. But within just a couple of weeks, the blue one started to fade. I don't have it with me right now, but see, this had stayed here. None of this is faded. I used this 2 years more than the blue one, which I've only had for about a year. The blue one, within a few weeks or so, just this gold printing just started fading off. It's almost gone on this side here. But the brown one, for whatever reason, it's just stayed there just fine. So I don't know what it is about the material or dye or what, if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if that might be the issue with this. Time will tell. That's the only way we'll tell. But as far as I can tell, pretty cool. There's no raised little ribs here like the Skylar. I kind of like this a little bit. I'm not sure I really like those Bibles that have those really high ones. But even if you just look at the Cambridge that just has the tooling, this looks more plain Jane, but I like it. There's nothing on the front. curiously, I really like that about the Cambridge Clarion, that there's nothing here. I like the Schuyler too. If I could have this without this cross right here, I think I would prefer that, to be honest with you. But that's a really incredibly mild preference. I mean, it is nice, whatever. But to be honest with you, I don't know why, for some reason, even though I really like having this blank on the front on my Cambridge, on this one, it feels like there should be something there. And I kind of feel like that too with this one here. I don't know. The red one, yeah, it just feels like there should be something here. Maybe Holy Bible. I don't know. That's my feeling. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you the paper. Oh wow, I didn't expect that. This is the back of the book. And if you look at the paper here, it's got a little dot matrix kind of paper to it. I don't know how many pages it comes with, but it looks like it has quite a bit of this dotted matrix paper here. That's cool. I really like that because now I am not the kind of person who writes in a Bible. I think if you spend a bunch of money on a Bible, unless it's the one, your main one that you're always reading, carrying around everywhere, throw in the back of your car, in your backpack or whatever, I'm not the kind of person to write in a Bible, especially something this nice. But if I were to write in the back and make notes, this is superior to any other Bible I've seen, simply because you have these little dots, which doesn't get in the way of your ink or look distracting or anything, but you can align your writing. And as much as I've been writing for so many years, and as much as I write daily, that I handwrite daily, I still can't seem to keep my lines always perfectly straight. This is a really good thing for that. And I often make little charts or graphics when I'm doing my Bible study and making my own commentaries and notes and things. And this comes in really handy for drawing, like, say, a little grid or whatever, make a chart. So that's pretty cool. That's a pleasant surprise. I did not know that kind of paper was there. I've never noticed. I've never written in the back of a Bible, to be honest with you, so I really don't care. But now that I know that's there, that's pretty cool. That's not in the front paper, of course, here. In fact, I don't think there's any blank. Yeah, there's one blank sheet. I don't know what this is for. I don't see any dedication page or whatever, and I don't really, if I bought somebody a Bible, I'm not going to give it to them written in. So I don't really care for those dedication pages. These other ones, they have that. The Clarion, the Schuyler. But these don't. That's cool. I like that better. I really recommend when you're reading, if you're new to the Legacy Standard, I really recommend reading the foreword. It does help a little bit understanding. But let me tell you something about this Legacy Standard translation. There's a lot of subtlety, but cumulatively, it's kind of a big difference, to be honest with you. I've examined a lot, not just taking the samples, but doing a lot of reading every day, as I do always. The NASB 95, after having really gone in depth into the Legacy Standard, I'll never get rid of this. It's still the best, in my opinion, except for this. This is slightly a cut above, I think. I really like the way that they translated some things, just a few things I've noticed over the 1995 NASB, just a few things. But compared to the 2020, both of these just blow that away. I do not like the direction they went with a lot of the translations, the things that they've changed in the NASB 2020. I don't like it. But I tell you that you'll see little differences between this and the 95. This and the NASB 95. But when I go and I look at the interlinear Bible or look up the Greek and Hebrew translations and stuff, I notice that, well, I don't really know how to articulate this yet because I don't read Hebrew or Greek. But one thing that I've noticed is that when you're reading in Hebrew or Greek, you don't have these conjunctions and things like we see in English, which is why you'll see certain words in italics in that. Well, it's just the order that they put the words in. And I can't think of an example off the top of my head now for some reason, but it's you might have some phrase like "to be with," and then my God, to be with, and it's kind of in that order of wording. Whereas in English we'd say "to be with my God." Not that I'm saying that that's valid text from the Bible. I'm just, kind of giving you an example. And it's the way that it's said when you're reading the Greek and Hebrew text. It does give you a different impression of the meaning just by the way it's worded. And that doesn't always translate well in English because they have to put in the little conjunctions and just kind of, it's not the same order of wording, not the same way we think in English. So in any case, what I've noticed about the Legacy Standard is it does a really good job. And the NASB 95, it's very accurate. I love it. It's the most important thing to me. But the Legacy Standard, I think, in a very slight and subtle way, does kind of help to give you that kind of more original, kind of convey things in that more original sort of way. I really can't explain it or articulate it to you, not until I sit down and show you verse comparisons between the different translations, but just something I've noticed. This is fantastic. It's really nice reading. People say that the NASB is wooden. I don't get that, and I don't care about that opinion. To me, it's a dumb opinion, because it doesn't really matter. I want accuracy. I want to know the unadulterated, unbiased, meaning, or at least presentation, so that I can derive the meaning from as close to the original language as possible. I really believe this is it right here, over anything else on the market, any other translation that's ever been made. Not that it's that superior to the NASB 95, but there are a few little subtle things that do kind of give it a little bit notch up. I think if you were to, what I would like to see a guy like Baruch Corman read this translation and give his opinion. I know that Baruch Corman is kind of would definitely steer you in the direction of American Standard. I don't think I've seen him once recommend the ESV, but at the same time, I remember him saying there are some problems with that translation. I don't know. ESV is okay, but there are some things I really don't like in here. this is a great translation. Okay, so real quick, this is a long review, much longer than I intended, and I digressed a little bit. There's nothing in here but Bible text, these little pages, and it's got some weights and measures. That's it. Every now and then, there's not very many of them, but every now and then you'll see a little note here at the bottom of the page. I haven't seen it here yet, but I know in the little ones, every now and then you'll see a little note at the bottom. Yeah, like right here. And that's it. That's all there is. That's all you really need. Now, this is the handy size, so it's not a real big Bible. At the same time, it's not real compact either. Let's take a look at the MacArthur Study Bible. Now, personally, I don't think the MacArthur Study Bible is a real big Bible either, but it's certainly not a compact Bible. So if you look at these two together, you can tell it's obviously smaller. A lot less thick than a study Bible, but it's not a thin line either. Now, if we look at the Cambridge Clarion, which is a compact, you can tell that, there is a significant height difference and, less significant width difference. Now you can tell that the yap extends farther out on this one a little bit more than the Cambridge. So when you look at the actual width of the paper, it's not too different, but the height is definitely a lot different. To be honest with you, I really wish this had a little bit more or curved yap or something. I do like a little bit of a curve to it over here, especially in the corner. See, like the Skylar. See the yap here compared to this. Let me put them. Try to get the page corners lined up evenly as I can. All right. You can tell the Skylar has more yap than the 316 Publishing. Steadfast Publishing. So, yeah, it's stiff. It's not supple. In a way, it's not really an advantage having a real leather cover. But then again, it feels great. It's got a good grip on it. I'm sure over time it will wear in and all that good stuff. But to be honest with you, with the weight of this, okay, even though it's all Bible text, it's fairly thick. And this is 32 GSM paper, so it's not like a real heavy kind of paper or anything either. Even though, it's not a thin line, it is pretty thick. If you look at here to Cambridge is pretty thick because it's a reference Bible, But just being a straight up Bible text, and considering that the font here is not that much bigger. This is a 9-point font. If you look at their little one, the New Testament Psalms and Proverbs, this is a 7-point font. Okay? As you can tell, the paper is the same. It is the same paper, just a bigger font. I think this is 9-point. It's not a huge difference, but you can definitely tell. Now, if you look at the Cambridge, though, okay, Cambridge has an 8-point font. I'll let you decide what you think. See, it's very readable. This text does seem to have a little bit more breathing room around the fonts here, I guess, or something. But, I mean, you could tell a difference. This is definitely a little more readable, even though this is a very readable Bible. You take a look at so this is an 8-point font, this is a 7-point font, and then this is a 7.5-point font in the Schuyler. Schuyler's really readable, but, you know, I mean, so yeah, it's a bigger font. Does that really account for the thickness, even though it's not like a really weighty paper? Well, let's take a look at the paper. The Clarion's a 30 GSM paper, I believe. Yes, 30 GSM. The Schuyler is 28 GSM. This is 32, same as these. So I suppose it's a little bit thicker than both the Schuyler and the Clarion, but I don't know, really, I'm not an expert on that at all. But, you know, it's a really nice font. Now this gives you 1-inch page margins here, see? I guess for those people who like to write in an expensive Bible, that's fine. I would rather have a little bit more compactness than to have the writing space, in my opinion. If you look here, there's no problem whatsoever with this gutter. Nothing falls in the gutter. Oh, let me do the lay flat thing. Let's go to Genesis. I mean, yeah, it opens and lays flat. That's good. I haven't pushed it down. Our little push. There it goes. Yeah. I mean, fine. So this little page margin, you get some here on the sides. Honestly, you know, it's just nice to have this space. As far as reading, there's nothing distracting on it. But this is a bigger Bible, not a compact, but still really nice, manageable size. I like that. I like that a lot, because the reason I bought this is for like heavy studying. And I need glasses to read, definitely, but a font like this is perfectly comfortable with my glasses on. I can read for hours and hours with this kind of font. So anyway, I wish I could tell you more about this liner stuff and the stitching and sewing and all that. I really don't know about those things. And I'm not a real big critic on that anyway. Though I do really appreciate a good quality Bible that will last a long time with lots of use. I'm really impressed with this red Cowhide, though. Fantastic. You know what? Let me just throw this in here while we're at it, just before I go. I'll let you see what I'm looking at. I think the lighting in here is fair enough to make that comparison. But I want to say that to me, this blue gilding is slightly more distracting than the red gilding here. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It's got it gives it overall kind of a cooler reflection off of the light. Cooler? I guess I guess you could describe it like that, perhaps. Yeah, cooler. See the reflection here. So to me, it's I don't know, it's not distracting. That's not the word, but I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it, I like the look of the blue gilding, but when I'm looking at the pages from 2.5 or 3 feet away, I want to say this is kind of I don't know. That's just me. Really great translation. I really recommend this. As far as the $110 that they're charging for this, or the 99 as I paid for them, I got to be honest with you. And Steadfast, I'm going to tell you some. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? I don't get any kind. I don't even have a YouTube following. I think I have 50 or 60 subscribers now. Hopefully you'll subscribe and let me help me grow the channel so I can bring you more reviews. But I don't have any affiliation with anybody. And even if I had a successful YouTube channel, I wouldn't care to do anything that favors anybody for any kind of benefit, especially when it comes to God's word. I know some of these guys don't want to criticize anything, but I'm going to give you a pretty flat out criticism here with Steadfast or 316. First of all, for this price, even though it's not their, premium edge line or whatever, I just got to say this lining here is disappointing. Whatever this lining is, it's papery. I mean, this is kind of a disappointing thing for sure. The paste down brown Cowhide Cambridge I had didn't have I think it was a synthetic liner or something. But even that was better than this. This is papery kind of, I don't like it. I don't really see this lasting a long time, to be honest with you. I think this is going to split after about 2 years, maybe. I don't know why the gap here is more than here. It's just, but it's the same thing with the ribbons being a little bit off. I mean, if you look at this one, where the ribbons are centered, this is a little bit off, and it's kind of as if they were glued on with the ribbons like that rather than the ribbons being straight. This one even more so. The ribbons were like that when they glued them in there, and the ribbons were laid out straight. I don't know if that's anything. To me, it seems like a little bit of a quality issue. You got this perimeter stitching, and like the Cambridge coloring I had, where the stitching was kind of coming up, this is well done stitching. I don't know how well this paste here will stick, but hopefully, anyway, what I was going to say, I think the quality of these, stiff, it's not, I don't know. I think these should probably sell for about maybe $75. $100, $110. I paid $99 each for them. I wouldn't, now that I've seen them and I have it here, I wouldn't pay $100 for this again, not this quality. And I think that could be improved. But the thing about Steadfast, here's the deal, or 316. You can't call their phone number. They won't answer the phone. They don't even put a phone number out there. And I've managed to find the phone number, but it'll never get you to anybody on the phone. They just don't take phone calls. When you send them emails, half the time they won't respond. The other half the time, it'll take them 4 or 5 days to get back to you. Now, when you do get a hold of them, even though the email exchanges take way too much time going back and forth, they do seem to handle their customer service fairly well. I haven't had any problems necessarily, so I can't really say how they would have handled a complaint or something like that. But the fact that you can't get these people on the phone, and that it takes so long to get an email back, and half the time they don't respond to your emails, I really don't like that. I think when you're paying this kind of money for a Bible, you should have a little bit better service. In fact, I just don't like any kind of business that doesn't have a phone number you can call. And a lot of people are doing that these days. I think it's a really pitiful cop-out, to be honest with you. But yeah, a little bit overpriced. Nevertheless, they're the only ones printing this Legacy Standard translation. The paper and the printing is really good. It's not great paper. I think that Zondervan, those Zondervan, what are the premium collection or whatever they're called, I think it's like a 36 GSM paper or something. They have nicer paper. And I wish I had the Zondervan Study Bible, because I think the Zondervan papers are pretty good, and the Holman papers are pretty good, even on their cheap Bibles. This is a pretty nice paper. I like it a lot. It's certainly better than the liner, whatever that is. But that's my opinion. I don't know if Steadfast will be too happy with that opinion, but I'm not here to please companies. I just say it like it is, and if they want to make improvement, then maybe they will. You don't get a box, you get little sleeves that you're just going to throw away. So you don't really have a protective thing. You can buy their Bible armor thing, but I don't know. I mean, I really would like to have seen the Edgeline one. Of course, they don't have any available. Who knows when? What I really want to see, and I hope really soon, is a Legacy Standard reference Bible, because I really like having the references. Nevertheless, it's convenient. I use this Strong's Concordance. This is the best concordance, pocket concordance I've been able to find. And I just had to happen to have that sitting there because I use it, but it's give you a little comparison of the size. And this is a really small one. It's not hand size, it's handy size, this one here. So I think the size is pretty good. I think it's a flexible size that's close enough to a personal size or compact, to where you can just carry it around a lot, or sit up hours on end, sitting up in bed or on the couch or whatever, reading. But it's also big enough, with a big enough font size, where you can do like some serious studying at a desk and all that. That's good, So anyway, I know I took a lot of time explaining things and that, but I wanted to be thorough and give you my honest opinion about some things. I hope you guys will click subscribe, give this video a like too. Help me grow this channel so I can continue to bring you more reviews. I'm going to, as soon as I can, try to give you a good comparison between the NASB 95, the 2020, and the Legacy Standard, because there are some differences I would love to show you. And I definitely want to show you why I do not like the NASB 2020. And then I have another review of this ESV that I did. I just haven't uploaded it and done the editing yet. But this ESV Study Bible. Now, I have some serious issues with some of the things in this translation. And no, For you ESV lovers out there, it's not the footnote thing. If they did not have the footnotes, there'd be some real problems with the entire thing. But because the stuff is all included in the footnotes and whatever changes people don't like are not there. Nevertheless, there still are a few things in here that about the ESV translation that I just really don't like. But this study Bible, as a study Bible, this is absolutely fantastic as far as a study Bible. And I'm going to get into that in depth. I'm going to give you some really good specific reasons why this is an incredibly good study Bible, aside from the translation being okay. Not great, but okay, you know. So keep on the lookout for the CSB study Bible review that I'm going to upload here soon, because I think this will be a really good eye-opener for some of you, and also a really good resource if you're looking for a good study Bible. Of course, being familiar with the MacArthur, I can give you a lot of insight in certain things too, because I have Holman, Zondervan, ESV, and all those things. So all that's included in this review. So I hope you'll keep checking back on my channel as I upload things. I have a professional career, so I don't have time to do a lot. But the more subscribers I can get, and the more I can grow my channel, maybe I'll get to the point where it'll be worth the time to do these reviews and do all the editing and stuff. But until then, hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down in the comment section if you have a question. And I'll hope you'll tune in soon.